Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to achieve this spring glam makeup look. It is spring colors with iluvsarahii glam put together. So I have lavender on the eyes, peach on the lips, pink on the cheeks, including a new concealer from Clinique that I'm so happy to talk to you guys about because I actually partnered with Clinique in this video to show you guys this bomb concealer that you guys are going to love. This is the Beyond Perfecting Super Concealer that is a 24-hour wear, water resistant, sweat resistant, full coverage that literally lasts all day, does not move, stays put. That's what I have on right now. And you guys know how picky I am on concealers. So for me to love this says a lot. And in this video, I'm also going to be sharing with you guys how you can get a free 10-day sample of this concealer so you can try it out. So if you guys want to know more about this look, please continue watching. I'm serving total bridesmaid vibes with this hair. This is supposed to be more like a spring hair, but looks a little bridesmaidy, I know. All right, so for today's video, we're gonna be doing all my face products first and then going into the eyes. In most of my videos, I tend to do my eye makeup first, and that is because I sometimes have fallout or I'm working with a lot of color and I don't want to get it everywhere. So because we're going to be doing more spring, lighter, fresh colors, I don't really need to do that. So I'm going to go in first with Lancome's Lip Base Pro Primer. This is a perfecting makeup primer. It has a smoothing effect and it's oil-free. I like to do about 1 pump on the skin. And from there, I pretty much just add it to the T-zone area. And then now I just start working it into the skin. And I really work it into the spots that tend to fade throughout the day, or I have larger pores, which is right around this area right here. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of lightly move my hair back. Okay, now I look like I'm really a bridesmaid right now. So for today's foundation, I'm gonna be using the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I'm using this because I love the coverage in this and because it's a little more radiant. Because it is springtime and I'm still that full coverage type of girl, I love this for that reason. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add this to my skin kind of all over. And this is in the shade Golden. It's a little darker than what I normally use. This is like when I tan, the shade that I like to go with. So over the weekend, I got a spray tan. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I never tan my face. And that is because I am so sensitive to tanning products. I don't know what it is, so I just avoid getting my face sprayed whatsoever. I usually get like a rash, like a breakout. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys, but I just avoid it. So instead, I'll just go in with a darker foundation. And it's not that much darker, but it's a little darker, you know? And I'm now going in with the Morphe E6 Kabuki brush. And I'm just gonna go first and kind of tap that into the skin. And then from there, go in circular motion. And I'm just now lightly tapping it around the nose area, kind of evening out my freckles right here. All right, so now that we have the foundation on, it's time to move into my favorite part of the makeup, and you guys already know what that is, and that is concealer. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna be using today the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Super Concealer in the shade number 14. I can't tell you guys how amazing this concealer is, and you guys know I'm a big concealer person. I'm very picky when it comes to concealers because I look for a lot in a concealer. I want coverage, I want longevity, I want the wear time to last throughout the day. I don't want to have to touch up, and I also don't want it to settle into my fine lines. Not only is it a 24-hour wear, and it's also full coverage, but it's waterproof, sweat proof, humidity proof, and transfer resistant, so it really stays put and doesn't move once it's on. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this on with a brush and then buff it out with a beauty blender. And I'm gonna start just like I do with all my concealers. I like to do a pretty good layer underneath and then kind of do it in like a V shape. And then from there, I'm just taking in my beauty blender and really pushing it into the skin. I'm taking it up and covering up that little freckle that I have. And with whatever's left, I'm just gonna go ahead and add the remaining amount to my eyelid and just kind of buff it out. And you can definitely see the coverage is there. It covers up all the freckles. And I also love that it looks super radiant and hydrated. I want that full coverage, but I also want it hydrated. So this is perfect if you are dry in this area. So something else that's good to know is that there are 18 shades available in this formula. And that's also including an apricot shade that's perfect for dark circles and color correcting. So if you have dark spots like in this area right around here, underneath the eyes, what you can do is add that apricot shade first. It's really gonna cancel out that color. Then you can go in with the concealer, put it on top, and it's really going to diminish the appearance of that dark spot. So I highly recommend that if you have any areas that are really hard to cover. Oh my God, I look so dewy and radiant right now. This is everything. I'm gonna grab this brush now and lightly buff out this area. It's a little harder to reach right here with the beauty blender, so I like taking in this brush for that reason and just lightly tapping over these spots. I'm gonna get a little closer so you guys can see that coverage. I'm playing when I tell you guys it's full coverage, it's bomb. And it's not shifting, it's not settling into my pores, my fine lines. Like, it looks incredible. I love it. So before I move into setting my skin, I want to let you guys know that right now you can actually get a free 10-day sample of this, so you can try it out, wear it, and see how you feel. You can find the perfect shade and you can play around with it. So if you guys do, I encourage you guys to let me know, tag me, and that way I can see how you guys are loving it. You guys are definitely going to see me using this a lot more. All right, so to keep the radiance in my skin, I'm going to go ahead and set my skin first with some Fix Plus and then move into powders. Spray it directly onto the skin. Ooh, I put a lot. But you know what? I really don't, because I'm doing like half pumps. I'm just, look how good the skin looks. It's not settling. And even look at my eyelids. I added it to my eyelids and it's not even creasing in there. And that area tends to crease with bases sometimes. And this is the concealer. So to set my skin, I'm gonna go in today using Maybelline's Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I still want my skin to look very radiant and I don't want it to look like it's too powdered down, so this will be perfect. It just adds like a very light amount onto the skin, setting what it needs to do without making it too dry. And I'm gonna go in with the Smashbox Buildable Cheek Brush, and I'm doing this because this kind of lightly taps it into the skin. So for bronzer today, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay's Beach Bronzer in the shade Bronze. And I'm not going to be doing my OG type of bronzer today. I don't want to go too contoured in. I want this to be very spring. I want it to feel very fresh still. So I'm pretty much just going to go around the perimeters of my face and do a light chisel. Very light. I still need a little bit of warmth to the skin. So I'm going to take this in with the Morphe M143 brush. Are we chiseled? We're a little chiseled, right? But you see the difference I made? It gave a little warmth to the skin, and that's ultimately what I wanted. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and contour my nose, and I'll be back in 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm back, and that was really fast. Imagine if it really was like that quick to contour the nose. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and bake underneath of my eyes. I'm using today the Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. I'm using the Laura Mercier today mainly because I want to just do a little bit of brightening. I don't want it too bright, so that's why I'm taking a break from the original one that I use. I'm just gonna let you just keep on pushing it. I'm gonna pinch in it on the sides a little bit. There you go, and then a little bit down the nose. So for today's eyeshadow, I'm gonna be using again the Natasha Denona Tropic palette. I have used this in a previous video. Decided to use it again because of all the beautiful spring inspired colors in here. There's so many pastel beautiful shades in here, and I decided just to be perfect for this look. So I'm gonna go in first with the shade Vintage Taupe and apply this as my transition shade. And I'm gonna use a Smith 235 brush. So I'm going in with that shade and really just carving out my crease, starting on the outer part of my eye and then working it up high. And then as always, I am just going to slightly start pulling the shade out. And I'm now taking in that shade Peach Puff. It's a little brighter. And I'm gonna add that kind of directly over that shade. And then I'm now just gonna take it in a little higher. Wow, the camera died. And I'm now gonna go in again with Vintage Taupe and do the same thing on this side. And just really just tilting my head back again to carve out this area. Okay, now I'm taking in the color Peach Puff. Going in that circular motion. I'm literally playing with the shadow on my hand, trying to figure out if I want to add it to the crease or to the lid. See, this is a problem when you are experimenting with colors. It's not like browns and you could just like blend it out. It's a little different. I'm gonna go in now with the shade Zena and apply this to my lid. And I'm taking this in with a Marc Jacobs shadow brush. We're gonna pick some up onto there and start kind of on the lid, on the outer part first. And then lightly start kind of tapping my way up, kind of in the crease, kind of going up a little bit. Oh my god, I love how this is looking. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with this purple. This is so pretty. And then now with the blending brush, I'm just going to lightly marry these shades kind of all together. This is like the most important part. Just really want to make sure everything gradually fades into each other. I don't know if you guys can see, there's kind of like a darker purple in there. That's not even a different purple, it's the same one. Just when it touched the Vintage Taupe and the Peach Puff, it kind of changed into a different color, which I don't mind because it saved me from trying to find a different purple to put in there. But all right, so moving on to the next eye. So next I'm going in with the NYX Liquid Liner in the shade Black, and I'm gonna do this to give myself a wing liner. I wanna really pull that look for this. However, I want it a little thinner than the Huge. I'm saying that like that because, again, we know how liner is. We're just gonna do our best. This to me is like one of the easiest liquid liners to use, and it's so affordable, which is like the best part about it. Also loves that it doesn't like peel off or flake throughout the day. It really stays put. Ah! I went too thick on this side. It's always opposite. Okay, let's fix this. I'm gonna go ahead and dust this off. And then you see I just kind of just now press it into the skin once I dust off the excess amount. This bridesmaid's hair gotta get fixed, okay? All right, I'm going in next with some mascara using the Lancôme Big Mercier mascara to plump up the lashes. And then for falsies today, we might be using something new. I just got these in the mail and they looked so amazing. So I just need to see if they're gonna go with the wing liner. So I'm right now just gonna measure them and see how they look. And if they go, then we're gonna put them on. But if not, then we're gonna figure it out. So these are the House of Lashes in the style Siren. They are a lot different from what I normally use. Normally I like a very full, big, thick lash. I like them to go up to who knows where. These, however, are fuller in the center and then go shorter on the sides. They're super tapered, so you're definitely gonna get that wispy finish. I'm gonna take a spoolie through them really quickly and lightly just fluff them up. I've been seeing everybody doing this on YouTube and on Twitter, and I feel like it makes a pretty big difference. I feel like it just makes them look so much more natural, kind of like real lashes in a way. Yeah, these are bomb. Bomb! So happy. Okay, we're gonna be using these Siren from House of Lashes. Normally with lashes, I cut the ends off a little bit, but these I'm not gonna do it just because they are shorter already on the ends. And I don't see any of the bands sticking out, so I feel like we'll be safe. If these, however, are too long for your eye, I recommend taking a little bit off of each side so that it evens out, just because the main part is the middle, so you don't want it to be uneven. So I'm just gonna place these a little more up. Really make sure you kind of see where these lashes are sitting. Kind of want to make sure the middle part's right in the center, otherwise it's gonna look a little off. All right, so while my lashes are setting, I'm going to finish off my under eyes and then finish off my skin and then lips. So I'm going in back with the Tropic palette and using the shade Zena, and I'm going to be applying that to my lower lash line. And for that, I'm using a flat defining brush. You guys know this is like my absolute favorite brush to use for my under eyes. I feel like I've tried to use other brushes and I go back to this because I can really get a precise amount underneath and I can really control how much is going all over the place. I'm going to start this right underneath and lightly start tapping it. And a reason I like to press versus like smudge is because sometimes the powder particles can fly up into the eye, get stuck in the lashes, especially if you have mascara drying, it can get stuck in there. Or the particles can fly into your actual eye and really irritate the eye, especially if you're working on a client. That's happened to me before. It's not good. So I recommend really pressing first and then lightly smoking it out once the product's already laid onto that area. I'm going in now with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk. This is like an old school favorite of mine that I haven't used in forever. This is such a great product. So I'm going to be applying this to my lower lash line. I really want to make this area pop, but I actually don't like taking in the product directly in there because it is pretty big. So I like going in with an angle brush for this reason. So I'm getting the angle brush. This is the MAC 266. This is a short handle brush, by the way. And I pretty much just saturate most of the product on there. And then what I like to do is press it on the lash line. I'm gonna start right in the center and then just tap. Oh, I love the way that looks. Also, I don't take it all the way to the inner part of the eye. That's where your tears come out of, so I feel like it always messes it up. It will always grab onto the white and make it gray. Like it always happens to me. So I just avoid going too close. I pretty much stop right there and then leave this part open. I'm gonna go back in with that jumbo eyeliner and then now this brush, I'm gonna tap some onto there and then tap it to the inner part of my eye first. Kind of as if I were highlighting the inner corners of my eye, but I'm doing it with this first so that the next part can really stick on. And I'm now gonna go in with the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Soul Stylist. Geez, there's so many S's. And I'm now just gonna pick it up with that brush and tap it to where I applied the shade Milk. Ooh, definitely gives more of a pop. One last thing to the eyes, I am gonna apply a little bit of liner underneath just to give a little definition. I really wanted to do it with an eyeshadow or with purple, but I couldn't find a purple that really stood out to me. I'm gonna use today the Dose of Colors gel liner in the shade Shady, and I'm just gonna tap that against my lash line. This just really gives definition to this area and just kind of finishes off the eyes. No! Please don't be broken. No, limoncello broke. Okay, so for blush today, I'm gonna go in with these Jouer Adore Blush Duos. There are two blushes in here. This one is in Hold Me and Adore Me. So I'm gonna use today the shade Hold Me. I thought it'd just be good for this look, kind of brighten it up a little bit. I'm just gonna work back. I'm gonna use today the Makeupforever Pro Fusion highlighter in the shade number 1. This is like a really beautiful pink that's just gonna complement the whole eye makeup and look overall. So for lips today, I'm gonna go in with this Colourpop Lip Lux in the shade Carousel. And this is a beautiful peach shade that I thought would look so good against the lavender. I'm also gonna be using MAC lip liner in the shade Hover. I'm gonna be very gentle with this one. The peach lip liner that I would have normally used, I cannot seem to find anywhere, so this is gonna do for now. I'm next taking in the Colourpop Luxe lipstick in the shade Carousel. And I'm going to take in the Hi-Fi lip gloss from Urban Decay in the shade Midnight Cowgirl. I actually already added it on the bottom. So last thing, we're just going to set the skin really quickly with some Fix Plus from MAC. Shake it up first, and then we dip out about a lot of sprays, like 5 or 6 sprays. And I do this at the very end to just kind of set everything together. It's like the most important part to me is setting the skin. I feel like this truly is what bonds every single particle from the powders to the liquids to the creams all together, and that's what really makes the skin just look fresh and hydrated. All right guys, so that concludes this makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to achieve this look and all the products I used in this video. If you guys did, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know what your favorite product was, and as always, leave me some recommendations in the comments of videos you guys want to see in the future. I always want to know what you guys are into. So with that being said, I will see you guys in my next video.